and it was during praise and worship. He had his hands lifted, and in the dream, he had parents that divorced at a young age, and he lived with his mom. And I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, we went to a teens conference, and that's where I met a pastor kid whose parents divorced at a young age. And I thought that was God answering my prayers, because at this point, that was like my last hope. Even after asking for help, even after reaching out to you, because that's a void like no man could fill. So I continued to search, and then since he hurt me so bad, I began to do what I did in the 7th grade.
Hi, Charity.
Hey, she.
I don't know if I've ever really said like your full name.
No.
Not for real. That's okay. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who don't know, this is my little sister. Well, my middle little sister.
Favorite sister.
My middle little sister, whom I love so much and adore so much. I'm so happy for you. You graduate soon.
Yeah.
From high school, off to college. It's so weird to see you grow up. It's a little tear jerking. A little bit. I remember when you were born. That's like a weird statement. You have a podcast you just launched. VS for not Victoria's Secret. Vent session. And I'm so proud of you. In your first episode, you talked about how you've struggled with depression in the past. Is that something you still struggle with? No, not really.
Not really.
It's okay if so, because everybody got their moments. But when do you think you first started struggling with depression?
I think it started my 7th grade year.
Yeah.
That's when it really started going downhill from there. That's the year I ran away from home.
Okay, so what happened? Talk us through like what happened up until the point that you ran away from home. And I think it could be a benefit because middle school is like, first of all, it was hard when I was in middle school, but it's even harder now.
Yeah.
So for all the parents out there watching us that's struggling with their kids who are in middle school and connecting with them, tell us kind of what you went through.
Okay, so I wanted to fit in. I was already the pastor's daughter, so whenever I would do something, they'd be like, oh, you PK. So I wanted to like move beyond that. I actually like wanted to make a name for myself. So I started listening to Cardi B.
Okay.
I wanted to be like Cardi B. I started acting like her. And then next thing you know, people would be like, oh, you're a hoe. And I'm like, whoa. I thought this was cool, guys.
Yeah.
I started getting picked on because I was always bigger. Like, always bigger. And I'll never forget, one day this dude told me, he was like, you have a leg like a drumstick. And it's...
I'm sorry, that's terrible. I was not expecting that.
It stuck with me to this day. Like,
you don't have a drumstick leg. Punch him in the eyeballs.
It stuck with me to this day.
Yeah.
So, like, comments like that. Somebody called me a preacher hoe.
Wow. Okay. They hold.
Like,
they don't hold
like
back.
That.
Yeah.
Preacher hoe. And then, like, the people that I thought were my friends, I found out that they were talking about me, at church.
Not the friends at school, the friends at church.
At church, I have to, like, smile, act like everything is cool. And at home, I was bad, so I stayed getting in trouble. So I was like, you know what? Nobody loves me. So that's what led up to me running away. I didn't get far.
You did not get far.
I got like...
I'm so grateful you did not get far.
Yeah. Maybe like a street, like one street down.
From the school?
Yeah, that was it.
Because you left after school.
Yeah, I left after school, and I was going for maybe a few hours. I never forget, it was a Thursday night when we had Bible study.
It was a Thursday night. Shut the church down.
Yeah,
Manhunt. Everybody's going looking for charity.
yeah. And when like the cops came, I was so I was nervous because I thought I was gonna get beat.
Okay.
I knew like because I was supposed to get in trouble. I don't remember what I did. I think I got caught talking to a boy or
You weren't supposed to be talking to no boys.
They ain't play that.
No. And you thought you was getting a whooping that day. Or you knew you was getting a whooping that day.
She told me I was getting a whooping that day.
When you got home from school.
Yeah, so I was like,
So your day started off bad.
Yeah.
And you was like, well.
I got out the car. I said, today is today.
See ya never again.
Literally. I had planned on going to Atlanta, actually.
What was in Atlanta?
My friend dad was driving to Atlanta, and I was going to hitch a ride to Atlanta.
So you thought this random man was going to take you all the way to Atlanta and just drop you off there and leave you by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
And we have gotten past the running away stage. But have you ever wanted to run away since then? Don't lie. Your body movement's already said.
Lord. I feel like, yeah, I have. My 11th grade year.
What makes you kind of lean into that and want to, what are you running away from?
My problems.
Okay.
And I've always done that. Even like, this, my friendships.
Yeah.
You got so many strikes and you out and it's over with. And I'm working on that.
Your cutoff game is definitely strong.
Look, unless I like you, that's what I become a fool if I catch feelings. But yeah, I always run away from my problems.
So running away from problems. Now, you said that the 7th grade was the start of like a downward spiral. So even after you run away, things did not get better. So tell us a little bit about that.
I was homeschooled, but I believe you were in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The rest of my siblings, they still went to school. And because I was feeling so bad, because I was worried about what other people thought of me, I had to start the 7th grade over in November.
Mm-hmm.
So I like completely started over in November. So I was playing catch up for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would stay up till maybe like 12, 1 in the morning doing schoolwork. Wake up maybe around 8. Stay up till 12, 1 in the morning doing schoolwork. Now, I had times they would take me to the movies and stuff like that. But I was at the house alone, and that's when I really started binge eating as a comfort, just to help me get through it. And then I would feel sick and feel like I want to throw up. And after, I eat again. So it was a cycle. And then I found other artists, because I've always been into music. So I found other artists that inspired me.
So while you were at home alone, basically kind of teaching yourself, going back through 7th grade all over again to catch up, looking back now, do you think that that was the best thing?
I wouldn't change it because it made me, who I am today. Even though it was tough, I felt like if I didn't learn that lesson then, I would be learning it in college. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm grateful, because I've learned a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
A lot of people are telling me like, oh, you need to watch out for this, 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 and this when you go to college. I'm like, been there, done that. Like, the Lord prepared me for a reason.
So you're at home alone. Did you struggle? Did you have friends? Like, what was that process like?
I had a best friend. I had so many best friends. Oh, but I had a best.
You have had a lot of best friends in life, but continue.
I had a best friend, and she, like, was kind of awkward, but I wasn't. Like, I was good talking to people. So she was, like, jealous of me. She was like, oh, I want people to know my name. I want people to mention me. And I was like, no, you don't. Because she thought it was all cool and stuff, but nah, they gonna talk about you. So, yeah, I never really had any good friends, I would say, not during those times. And then they would look at my lifestyle and they'd be like, you should be grateful for what you have. But they never knew what I was going through.
Can you expound on that a little bit?
I always was insecure about the way I looked. I was constantly like gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight. And people thought like, oh, Charity, she's so pretty. Like, I seemed confident, but I was so insecure for a long time. And then it got to a point where I would put others down to build myself up because that's the only way I knew how. And now, like, now that I'm saved, it's like I have to remind myself I don't have to do that no more. So I'm still working on that and building myself up with the Bible instead.
Did you ever go back and apologize to the people that you put down in an attempt to put yourself up?
I've apologized to a few people. I don't say so many apologies I can't even keep up.
Yeah.
And it's actually people that I'm friends with now that I put down because I was hurt.
Did they ever come to you and express that, or did you?
Yeah.
And you told them like?
Yeah. We were sitting in the car. And I was telling her everything, and she was like, she told me her side of how she took it and how she felt about it. And I told her what was going on, and I apologized. She accepted my apology. Now that's one of my closest friends.
That's good. So for the parents out there who are struggling with maybe just a middle schooler in general who's struggling to fitting in, what would you tell them? How can they help? Or can they help? Or do they just have to kind of let them go through it?
I feel like you should build your child up at home with your words and with your actions, definitely. Because they're going to be looking for it at school. They're going to find it. They're going to find it from the wrong person. And eventually those people will tear them down.
That's good, because I hear a lot of parents just, because I've been in that like in between, like, okay, I'm with the kids and then I'm with the parents. And I've been in that space where the parents are like, oh, they're going to get validation from the wrong people. But I've never heard them say like, oh, they're going to get validation and then that person's going to turn around and then destroy them, like destroy their character. Like they're only building them up to later tear them down.
Yeah.
And I don't think that often, and myself included, that's not something that I've thought about the consequences of. It's like, oh, I just don't want them to get validation from somebody else. But no, like that person also has the ability to tear them down as well after they've gained their trust.
I had a situation where I told you I wanted a pastor kid friend. So I prayed. I asked God. I was like, God, send me a pastor kid friend. And I specifically asked for a male friend. At this time, I didn't know that the devil also hears me, when I pray out loud. So it was obviously a counterfeit that was sent to me. I had a dream about a pastor kid that I met in church. And it was during praise and worship. He had his hands lifted. And in the dream, he had parents that divorced at a young age, and he lived with his mom. And I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, we went to a teens conference, and that's where I met a pastor kid whose parents divorced at a young age. And I thought that was God answering my prayers, because at this point, that was like my last hope, I ended up opening up to him about a lot, and then eventually he opened up to me too. And I remember texting you, telling you, like, I don't know what to do because we're both suffering, going through it. Eventually, I found out he had a girlfriend. And after, oh yeah, he would flirt with me too. So I found out he had a girlfriend. And after that, he talked about me. He said I was big. He was like, you're depressed and you'll never be nothing without me. And that's something, like, those words, they kind of stick with me kind of today. Like, when I achieve something, I think of that and I be like, you're wrong. So yeah, some people, like, they come with the intention to hurt you, and I didn't know that.
Everybody doesn't necessarily come from a pure place. You know what I really recently thought about? That even living to prove other people wrong is a form of people pleasing.
I've been struggling with that too.
So you don't always have to like, oh, what do you want? Like, what can I do for you? But you're still trying to, in a sense, people please when your whole life is centered around proving other people wrong. When you let that be your source of validation, which is crazy. So you said when you were talking that both of you were in a really dark place and you felt like both of you were sinking. You specifically, what was that like for you? How do you describe, like, yes, you said you're sinking, but give us a little bit more detail.
I was in the ocean is what I felt like, and the more that life would hit me, I felt like it was, chain around my ankle with weights. The more weights got added, and he was the thing that kind of pulled me up. So if I got home from school and I got yelled at, I already had a bad day at school. So all that is doing adding more weights and more weights, because it was just tearing me down. At that point, everything was tearing me down.
And he would be like your ray of sunshine or whatever. And then when he dropped you,
I fell to the bottom. I fell to the bottom. I became kind of numb. I didn't care about anybody's feelings. I didn't trust anybody. Like, it was bad.
So in that process of feeling like you were sinking, what do you think the solution may have been? Like, did you reach out to people? Did you ask for help? Like, what did that look like?
I was still struggling, even after asking for help, even after reaching out to you, because that's a void like no man could feel. So I continued to search, and then since he hurt me so bad, I began to do what I did in the 7th grade. I began to build myself up again by tearing people down. And eventually I was like, I can't live my life like this. So that's when I got saved.
Because it hurts you to hurt other people.
Yeah.
So the people that were closest to you, right? Because we have other siblings. It's not just the two of us. Who were they the ones that you were lashing out at? Like who was the result of, or like the who got the brunt of your anger?
I think who got it the worst is my little sister.
Yeah.
She got it bad.
Have you ever apologized to her?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
It's something that like we laugh and joke about now, but I was crazy. Most definitely.
You was crazy.
Yeah, like I couldn't control, like every emotion I had was anger.
And what did that look like for you?
I would hit her to express my emotions.
So you would physically put your hands on her?
Or like verbally tear her down. And people that I call my closest friends, I would tear them down out of a place of hurt.
Just lashing out at them. So what do you think is the solution? Because there are parents out there, right, whose children they're going at each other, and they don't know what to do to help them, to make them feel better, to make them stop arguing, to make them get on the same page. What do you think could help?
I think what helped me with my relationship with my parents is not focusing on the negative. Once I start to see the positive, it completely changed me. I'm like, hey, like my mom is great. She does this, 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 and this, and this. And then when I found a way to express to her how I felt about the bad, and I realized she actually listens and cares, it tore down all the lies that were planted in my head.
Yeah. Are you comfortable sharing some of the lies that were planted in your head, or would you rather skim over those?
I can share them.
Okay.
Kind of like I was never loved. That's why it's probably a reason why I always say I'm people's favorite. And now it's just something I say now, but I I wanted that. Like,
Yeah, back then you needed that.
I needed that. So I was never loved. Nobody cared about me. I would always be alone, and any relationship I had, I would always get hurt. So yeah.
So what were some of the truths that you combated that with? Like what specifically tore down the lies?
I think hearing other people say like, "Hey, I love you," or "Hey, I want you to know sometimes I might hurt your feelings, but it's never my true intentions because nobody's perfect." And then people saying like when people check on me, and it was like, "I want you to know that I'm proud of you." Like with you saying that earlier,
Mm-hmm.
it does something for me because even now, it helps.
Yeah. And what you're referencing is when, like, I think I'd asked you something to do with the baby, and you were like, "Oh no, I got to do this, and this." And I called you, and I was like, "Hey, as inconvenient as that was for me, I want you to know that I'm proud of you for keeping your boundaries, for standing up for yourself, for doing what you had to do for yourself, and not putting other people first."
Because I always did that.
Yeah.
And I would get burnt out because nobody did that for me. I was always put last. So
Tell me, what could I have done better as a sister? Because as you're getting older, I'm hearing all these stories and I'm seeing all these things, and there's a part of me that's a little sad. Like, dang, like what could I have done to help or to make things better for her? So now, what could I have done? Because we still got younger siblings.
yeah,
What could I have done as an older sibling to make things better for you?
I think I just needed you around more often.
Yeah.
I felt alone. And like when you were there, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I just needed you around more.
Granted, I was in college. So even being in college, being away, what could I have done?
Call mama, tell her give me the phone.
Yeah.
And like you came home on the weekends, and that was cool. But like when you came home, everybody was so happy to see you. Like Aisha. So just one-on-one time.
That's fair. I think in a sense at that time I felt like I carried so much responsibility. I also was running away. And so as much as I missed y'all and y'all part of the reason I only went an hour away to college, there was a part of me that was like, let me give me a little break, And I think I did run away from that responsibility, and I apologize because I may have unknowingly or unintentionally dropped you and not considered what you needed from me in that season, because I was still a big sister regardless of whether I was in college or not. I was still your big sister, and I definitely should have and could have done more. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about where you are now, what you got going on. You don't have to tell the people what college you're going to, because don't look for her.
Baddie on campus.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And then after school, I'm going to transfer to another school.
Okay. Praise God.
I'm going to major in sports management.
Okay.
I want to write out the contracts, negotiate contracts for professional athletes. But I also want to start like a couple of businesses while I'm in college.
So what kinds of businesses? Because you started your podcast.
Yeah.
You play 11 million instruments. You sing. You do all these things. But like, what are your hobbies? What are your interests? What are you thinking about? Producing.
Yeah.
Like music.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you actually write like sheet music?
Oh, yeah. I've been writing since I was like 12. I think I wrote a play at 12.
With all the A through, what is it? G notes? Ain't no H, is it? I had to think about that, y'all. I played the violin for years and couldn't play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star right now if I tried.
Yeah, So I want to come out. I'm actually working on something right now, and it's fire. I ain't gonna lie, it's real fire. And then I also want to start a beauty line, but it's not just cosmetics. Like I also wanted to teach young girls how to take care of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So I want skincare involved. I want makeup involved. I want like hygiene products involved, and along with that, different scriptures to help.
Mm-hmm.
And along with that, just to teach them why do we use this product, what is it for, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
That's good. It's kind of along the same reason why, like, I love giving people affirmations, which is why some of them are on my website for free. Because if you can't afford them, get you a free set,
Okay.
off of there. But like just speaking life over yourself and learning to love yourself and learning to know more about yourself and processing through all the things that you're going through. So, um, with all of that, where do you see yourself in the next? Let's go 3 years. Let's say 4. Okay,
Okay, 4
4.
years.
4 to get through school.
I might have me a little boo by then.
A little boo.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't ready.
Oh yeah. I ain't worried about that now, but by then, I might have
Okay,
me a boo thing.
a little boo thing.
Be working.
Okay.
By then, I want to have like money saved up
Mm-hmm.
from my businesses to afford a place. So yeah, I wanna have me a little place working. Maybe start doing a little ministry.
You gonna live here?
Yeah, I want to live here because it's cheap, and I
Okay.
want to travel,
That's good. That's nice. Yeah.
take care of my niecey poo. That's what I want to do.
Their little cute self. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me. We're going to go ahead and close out. I want to just pray. And I do want to pray for our students who are like struggling, and their mental health, struggling with depression. You want to pray? Or you want me to pray?
You can pray.
Okay. You ready? Father, I thank you so much for every student that will watch this video and for every parent that's watching that wants to stand in proxy for their child. I'm asking that you would give them wisdom on how to deal right with their children. I pray that you would give the children confidence and boldness to be who you've called them to be who you have created them to be. Don't allow any voices that the enemy is trying to allow to whisper in their ears to come and to influence them. But Father, I pray that you would build them up, strengthen them, do what only you can do in them. Allow them to truly see themselves the way that you see them. Breathe life back into them. Don't allow them to feel like they're drowning. But Father, I pray that you would be their lifeline in this season. I just thank you that you're sending people around them to encourage them, to speak life into them like never before. And it is in the mighty name of Jesus Christ that we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for joining me, Cheer.
Love you.
I love you.